Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, I want to talk about how I've gotten to the place where I'm getting paid to be myself. Now, I'm not rich, like, I'm not making like 10K or 100K a month. I'm making enough to be able to support my family and also enjoy the work that I do and have a good time doing what I do. That's really for people that are curious whether it's possible. I'm coming from a place of, yeah, it is possible. I'll just explain my situation in a way that makes sense. And if you think that that's something that resonates with you, then you can continue to listen. So, getting paid to be myself, what does that look like to me? Well, right now I'm working sort of as an educator. I am helping students with learning disabilities and just helping people learn to learn. That's really the thing. And it's a beautiful thing because I'm able to do what I've always kind of been into, which is educate, transform the way people think, and do it in a way which is very intimate, very one-on-one, very well. I'm a coach also. Like that's something that I'll add to the side, but but um, but do it in a way that's deep and specialized, right? And so I love what I do, and and I think that things have aligned in a way where this isn't a video that just is going to talk about if you want to get paid to be yourself, you have to be yourself wherever you go, which is honestly I think that's the main point. But I also want to say that there are some other underlying factors that a lot of people don't think about, which is this idea that that the environment shifts according to who you are. So, um, I went back to my employment when I got a regular job because I had to stop doing YouTube, because I had a son, so I had to make some steady income, and so I went back to work, started being a busser. Obviously, hated that job. At first, hated going back to it, but I came in and I knew that with everything that I've learned, I know that I can at least get by and be content. That was the goal. Just be content with where I'm at, and hopefully move up in the ladder. And as time progressed, I continued to find opportunities for me to bring more of myself into the workplace. And the more I brought myself in, the more I realized just how much I could be doing more, like bringing more of myself in. And so that eventually pushed me to continue to search for new jobs. Eventually, I got tired of the restaurant industry, and I decided, okay, I'm going to go into education. I'm going to use my bachelor's degree, and I was a great student. I almost hit a 4.0 GPA. Aside from the fact that I was really salty on my last semester, and I just got C's. First time I got C's in my whole freaking bachelor's, but um, yeah, I was a great student. I was good. So let's see where I can go, and I looked into some good spots and some possible job offers, and I saw tutoring as one of them, and it just so happened to be that I really resonated with this one place where I work at now. The lady that I work for is spiritual, really knowledgeable in terms of just applying spiritual principles and being of service, which is something that I value a lot. And so, I started working there. Things were a little rough at the start in the beginning, but the biggest thing that I did was just being able to speak my truth. And in speaking my truth, there was a point where I got to the point where I was like, "Whoa, hold on! If I commit to speaking my truth, I could probably lose my job just because I'm going to say things that are going to make people uncomfortable, but also it's very bold, it's very risky, right?" And but I really had to look back. I looked back and I realized, okay, well, I know where I want to go, and I'm tired of having to go in circles and have to play other people's games. I want to just do me. Like I like this place where I'm working. I see the potential. I want to help improve the place. I want to help bring contribute to the place. And so I just came in and I said what I thought. And, at first it was very difficult because I did feel like I wasn't heard. But through time, because I spoke my truth and I wasn't fired, I stayed there. And through time, I eventually saw kind of how I fit into the system while also being able to contribute in a way that was creative and supportive. So that's where I was able to finally get into a flow and really just love the work that I do. Like, I show up every day and it's something new, but I'm also learning. I'm learning every day. I'm studying and learning about learning. It's a job where I get to learn. It's a job where I get to bring all my skills from social media and also from coaching, because I coach adults. Also, I coach entrepreneurs, and be able to get paid for it. And it set me up in a place where now, like, okay, I got my job. I can continue to grow there. As the longer I stay there, the more experience I develop, which will only lead me to making more money in the future. And then I have my YouTube channel, which is where I get to express my truth and I get to share what I love. And then I have my coaching business, which is where I get to work with people that I love and make an impact in the way that only I could do it. So then, and then I also have my family and I get to learn other skills. Right now I'm learning about music theory. I'm also learning about computer science. In the mornings I'm also day trading. And although this does sound like a lot, it does not feel like a lot, and that's the beauty of it. It's like being yourself should feel like effortless. It should feel effortless. And so um, for me to get to this place, I'm making enough to be able to support my family, um, and also enjoy my passions, and also explore my creativity, and also continue to learn. So this is where I'm at. And so the question is, how did it get to where I'm at? In the sense of, like, if you're an individual who wants to be in a similar place as I am, which is, not hating your job, actually enjoying your job, and then also moving towards building your dreams, and you're enjoying it and you're being yourself, you want to do that. So how do you get there? And I think the first thing that comes to mind is the ability to speak your truth. I think something that I realized was, at your workplace, I think there's an art to it for sure, but sometimes you just gotta say things. You just gotta call people out on their bullshit. Because I have worked at some places where there's a lot of hypocrisy, but I do know that if I did call people out on their hypocrisy, that they would respect me more. And there were moments, and I say that because there were moments where that happened. I had one incident with one of the chefs at the places I was working at. He was a chef, and it was kind of like, I don't know. I guess it was a good restaurant. And he called me a bitch, and it was unconscious. I knew it was unconscious. I knew that he didn't, like, it was just in the moment he was stressed out. But I knew that also it was unconscious because I had worked with other people who were super freaking rude, but they weren't even aware that they were rude. And there's a whole thing that we can go where I can go into about that. But basically, there were times where I had to tell people, like, "Hey, you said this. I did not like that," and then they said, "Oh, I didn't know I said that. Did I really do that? I didn't mean to. Or, I'm so sorry." So it's crazy to see how unconscious people can be, which is kind of, I mean, it's crazy to see because I would talk about the shadow all the time on my YouTube channel, but then to see people to live it out, I think is hilarious. Just points to the credibility and the importance of the work. But anyways, I talked to the chef because he called me a bitch, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, you called me a bitch. I just want to let you know I didn't like that." And he completely denied it. He's like, "No, I didn't. I did not do that. When did I do that?" And then I told him specifically when, specifically how, and yeah, and he just said that he just completely denied it. He got really angry. He's like, I don't even remember what he said. But then I told him, I was like, I just don't think that you should be speaking to people like that. I see the way that you talk to this other cook and this other cook, and I don't think that it's something that people should. I don't think that that's how people should be talked to. Um, and then he got infuriated and told me that it was not my place to tell him how to do his job. Um, so I think like that was one of the worst thing. That was one of the worst fears I had, which was like to tell people, hey, call them out on their shit, and then them tell me that my opinion didn't matter. I think that was one of the biggest things. But what I what I saw then was I told later the other manager, and I told the other chef, and they both were pretty open about, like, pretty receptive to what I was saying. They both took notes about it, and then and I could see it in their face that there was a sense of respect towards me. And later on, some of my other coworkers kind of like let me know, like, yo, I respect the fact that you told them that you spoke your mind, and so I know that I did leave an impact in that place, but I also question how many times I didn't speak up, right? How many times did I not speak up? How many times should I have? And now I know that there's some times where it's just not worth it, and that's just for you to judge. But I think, and the biggest thing is like when it comes down to you, like how are people treating you, and how are you, building those boundaries or letting people know, because that's gonna be where where you're gonna really know. Um, so it's that, speaking your truth, even when it's difficult. Obviously, there's gonna be places where you hate to work at. Well, I have learned that it's not really the job; it's more so how you react to the job, and whether you're willing to put yourself fully. Because then you might realize now, after watching this video, you might just think, "Wow, like, you know what? I could speak up, but I just don't want to. I don't feel motivated to. I don't see a point." And it just depends. For me, like, there were several times where I said it's just not worth it. I'm gonna go look for another job, and like I got the experience, got the connections. I'm gonna go see if I can get another job, and I did get a better job, but then the problems kept reoccurring, right? So then I had to speak my mind over there, and so then continue to evolve to get to this place where I'm now working. I'm heard. I'm able to express my gifts, and I'm recognized and acknowledged. Um, Now, the other thing that I would say is that it does require inner work, and I'll say this often, but if you find yourself not able to be yourself, you got to question, like, what is it that's stopping you from enjoying your own presence? That's stopping you from enjoying who you are? Like, at what point is the environment really going to be what dictates who you become, right? And it's like the it's a chain. We are most often chained by circumstance. We often do that to ourselves. And so, what is it about the present circumstance that says that you can't be yourself, right? Um, and oftentimes it's the fear. It's the fear that you carry about the repercussions of you being you. But in this world where we live in, where we have social media influencers getting paid to be them, um, why can't that be you also, right? I just think that just comes to my mind. Like, I think this new generation, I guess, is a Gen Z or something. I mean, everybody here is growing up seeing that people are making money from TikTok, building businesses off YouTube, and this doesn't even have to be social media. But I just think, like, the game has just changed completely. Things are less gate kept, and so for you to think that you can't be yourself, uh, it's a difficult spot to be in, and I think it also requires a lot of questioning on kind of what exactly it is, whose fault it really is, that's not happening. So yeah, I think you start with the questioning. The self work, the inner work begins with the questions, and then finally, I think something that I guess I'll just add, the law of attraction. I think about the law of attraction because throughout my journey of getting to the point where I'm at, there were some moments where I just had a wish of, like, if this situation happened, I had this idea, like, what would be cool? What would be cool is if I could have just like somebody just give me their podcast studio. I could help them build their podcast, but I also borrow their studio so I can record my own podcast. Like, I just imagine some office on the second floor, and then, like, I'd be able to record and speak to people. Um, and a few months later, I got the opportunity to do just that. Um, the exact it was an office in the second floor. The guy wanted me to do the podcast for him, and I could use the room if I wanted to. Um, and the only thing that happened was I just didn't make the offer. I didn't. I was just. I asked him like, so but it just means like money wise, how would it work? And I saw it in his face where he read it. He read it where he was like, oh, this guy's not confident in terms of like doing it completely. And it wasn't that I wasn't confident. It was two things. I didn't trust the guy because he was the owner of the restaurant I was working at, and also I didn't think I was ready to commit to that. So despite me having had that wish, um, my heart wasn't fully into that, which is crazy to think about, right? Because oftentimes we're asking a lot of things and we think that those are the things that we want, when in reality we desire something even deeper. So a lot of the times people are seeking these external rewards or these external goals, but they might be asking from a superficial level, and you have to really be careful about that because you'll realize, because you'll know when you get there. You'll know once you look at the thing, it's right in your hand, it's right in your face, and you're gonna realize that, you know what, I actually don't want this, or actually I'm not ready to commit to this, or actually it's not even that you're not ready. It's just that you just want something more. You want something deeper, and usually it's not going to be something that is external. It's going to be a deeper connection to yourself. So I think those are the situations where I'm thinking like, the law of attraction is real, right? And it also led to me manifesting this job opportunity that I got at this new job, right, where I'm working. But the only thing is where are you asking from? From what center are you attracting from? So I do want to keep that in mind, and I think that that's just something to throw out there, because a lot of people kind of, in the space when you're thinking about getting paid to be yourself, they are thinking about law of attraction. But that's basically it. Um, yeah, that's kind of my grounded take on getting paid to be yourself. So I hope that you found this helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Stay lucid. Peace.